Yes. Okay. So let's see where we're going to start. Let me see. I think that on page Tov Reish Vav, we are on number Zion. So tonight we're going to do number 21 and number 22. We'll get into these 20s and see if we can learn something here. What else I could do? Let me see, get this lower so I can see it better. Okay, here we go. Rabbi YOCHAI says, I'm having trouble with my camera. My camera is really bouncing around now. I gotta get another one. I don't know what's wrong here. Okay, so he says, okay, once again, Rabbi YOCHAI Shabir the Iri Khan Bechazara Zer V'Nuk Panim B'Panim. So this is what we're talking about. That the darkness has to do with them coming around to being face to face. It's chashka nukva. This causes it's chashkas, the nukva, so it becomes dark. Pirush. So when we come to a place where we say the word ba'ava, right? We get to that place. He's going to go through this. Kavara na'as is hanisira. So when you say ba'ava, the nisira has already taken place. Excuse me. And this is where the nukva grows, comes back around and becomes face to face with zer anpin. Now you start saying melech ozer mashiach again. So he says the nai de ima, which is where mislavshim benukva nisgadel, because this takes place when she goes into, I guess it's a dormita, small dormita here, or a dormita, whatever, and she enters into the nukva. Nizgada who called parts of upon him, then this causes the growth of the entire parts of the face. Now that's interesting because he's talking about originally she's on the back side, and she has to grow up. Here he's talking about, which I guess would be the parts of the acharayim. So he said, but this is growing the panim of the nukva. So then what happens then? So it's not permanent. The nai of ima leaves the nukva. And through this way, it's chashkes. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's chashkes. The nukva becomes dark now because she doesn't have anything coming into her. So he said the nukva is there anpin the mitzvah at this partzufa, and then her partsuf becomes smaller or is minimized. Because she wants to go back to go around the back again. I mean, she wants to go. She has no light coming into her, so she has to go defensive. What's he right over there? So he says, B'chasimas bracha rishona, the Ramamida Ye'un Sham, where he wants to talk about the end of the first bracha. Is Nehiras Ima, so there you have the shining of Ima. Ki chozrim nai the Abba the Hislavish betoch nai the Ima kavatahila, because then the light of Abba, that is, let's get these words, vis Nehiras Ima, she becomes illuminated. What's going to happen? It was that she was separated from Abba. That was part of our concept that we talked about of she was bilachadui, she was by herself, or something was by itself. And so putting it on her now in the situation where she no longer has Ima within her, and Ima now has light of Abba within inside of her. Because she's back inside of her again. And this causes an opening of her gates. Now it's a little bit because ba'omda, with her standing ima makif al gabe reisha dezer anpen. I'm not sure what to do with this word ba'omda, but she's standing as surrounding she's a makif on the head of zer anpen. Yisod the patuach, at that point her yisod is opened up. Yisod hu pesach haguf, because what is the yisod? It's an opening of the guf, kamo shekasav Rabbeinu be'etz chaim b'shar Noah, and we're going to see some details on this in Mitzvah Hashem. Let's see where did my phone go? Oh, here it is. Okay, Rebbe cut out for a moment. So here we come back again and let's try to get into this. And here we go. Now we're going to look at number 21 first. So just to try to understand what 21 is saying, he says he said, let's look at the beginning up to Kaf Aleph. Rei b'yafashah. Let me see if I got this right. There we go. So he says, Rei b'yafashah. Look at the yafashah. Shabir the Iri kan b'chazaras zer of a nukva upon him, and the situation that we're talking about, and this darkness that we're talking about, is the category of the nukva and zer anpin going face to face, and his explanation down below in number 21. He said, Sarach bir, you have to really look into this more, shaharach b'vur be'etz chaim, because we have a contradiction. That what we're talking about here, because what does he say what's happening is when they're going upon him, he says the Bria Sa'olam. Now we've had this phrase before. This refers to the original Bia, which takes place at the beginning of the creation of the world. Shehem Bechinas Zivug Ach Ba'ach. So here he says the contradiction. It says that over there it says it's a yichud of ach ba'ach. Here it's saying that it's panim b'panim. This is talked about later on. Now here's another nice little phrase here. We'd like to hear a lot more about it. He says that they only come panim, which is the position for yichud, after there's a tikkun that's affected in Adam Arishon. I'm not really sure what he means by that. The commotion is boyer la'el. This has already been explained, he says. Okay, well, what can I do? So we have a few new ideas, a few new words. Let's look over here from number 21, and we'll read over to 22. It says, V'zel Lashono, going back again, he says, is chashkas nukva. So, right, that phrase, pirush, so you came to the words of Abba. Then you go to say Malach, Ozer, Mashiach, again. So you have already, the nukva is not attached on the back anymore. She's already removed. And as a result of this, she's now going to go face to face. She grows to the point where she can. And when you get to this part, right before Mogen Avraham, that is inside of the nukva, she's growing. Nizgadla called parts of upon him, the nukva. This causes the whole parts of the face of the nukva. Acharkach mistalchim nai the ima ben hanukva. So then the nai leaves the nukva. Let's go over and find out what happens with the nai of ima leaves the nukva. Let me see if I can bring my stuff down closer to me. Okay, where are we at? There we go. Let's look at Kaf Bet. It has a little arichas to it. Excuse me. He says, Rei Bir Ha'inyan B'shar Kavanos. He said, the Zelda Shana Badilog, over there you'll see it like this. Maybe this is where we're learning in the Shar Kavanos, I don't know. He says, Vihine Achar Chazarasa Panim B'Panim, Imo. Now she's back face to face. Miss Ma'atis V'Nofelas L'Gilui L'Ragle Zer Anpin. You have to excuse me, my glass is just not good enough. There we go. I think I got it in the right place now. So V'Nofelas L'Ragle Zer Anpin Besod Nekuda Katana. So after what? After that position, Miss Ma'atis, she falls back down again. I guess it means that the Nai of Ima has left her. So let me go through this again. So she grows up to at least to the chaz of Zer Anpin. He's maybe go through some different stages here. Shenizgad Rabbeach Zer Anpin. Halavai, would it be that now she's grown up, there would be enough lishetuchel lishar that she should be able to remain bibechinas nekuda katana. She could still be a yosef on the bepana, but in a state of now panim bepanim. So hopefully all that growing that she got is now given her strength, so she can come around the front, even though she's a dot, but she's now in the front as Aaron Pit. Now this is part. The reason why I like this is because this, like always, the question is, how does she get around the front? So we say, well, she grows up, and we'll say, hopefully, that she has enough energy to be able to remain in the front. Whoops. Okay, I missed the cutout. So anyway, so I'm in the middle over here, and the word is v'nimsa she'oz hi omedes lamata bebechinda dekuda katana. So now that she's standing at the bottom, she's the aspect of a small dot. A Kenegin, where is that dot located? It's not attached anymore. It's Menaser. It's been removed. So he's a katana, but where she Keneged the Tara Shal Yisod is her anpin opposite the tip of the Yisod. And then after that, then she's in this position. She's in the front of the dot. We want to start growing her up so that she could be bepchina bepana gevat achila. V'revzeh yihiach b'midas melech ozer Mashiach umogen commotion is moyer, as has been explained, is that when you get to those phrases, now you're growing her up panim bepanim. Uv'shara kavanos alohalon sham. So over there explains this a little bit more. Ibir od v'zel l'shono, so explains it furthermore, and this is what he says. V'nachzer al bir hamilos. So now let's go back to the explanation of the words Melech, Ozel, Mashiach. So those words. And now she's in the front. So she's really just a dot, but she is still there. She's in the front. But she still has to grow to the entire height of Zer Anpin. So the reason for this, when she was in the back, she had to grow into the entire height of Zer Anpin. So, and what's the reason for this? So that when she comes about to turning and be going face to face, she comes around the bottom, I guess, so to speak. That seems like, like the tip of South Africa. You go around once from the Atlantic over to the Indian Ocean or something, whatever. So that when she becomes face to face with him, Taspik called Osa Ha'aras, that the light, the amount of light that she had received that grew her up to the entire height of Zer Anpin, this would be enough for her, that she should be now Bechinas Nekuda Katana, Bilvad Behiyosef Panim Bepanim. So we say that all of that energy that grows her up on the back of Zer Anpin leads us really to the Nesira, brings us into Nesira. All of that is going to be condensed down to her ability to be back to a dot again, but her ability to be in the front instead of the back. Gam came Ata. So also we have the same situation here. Bihi Yosef on the Bepanim, with her in a situation where she's face to face with Niknasim Hanai de Ima, as we understand that the Nai de Ima is going to come into. Let me go back to this again. Gam came Ata Bihi Yosef on the Bepanim. Now she's Panim Bepanim. The Niknasim Hanai de Ima, and the Nai of Ima is going to come into her now. Shrika Legado Ad Kol Kumas Zer Anpin Kula. She needs to grow up to the entire height of Zer Anpin. But the Kabbalah called Osaha Aracha Gedoyla, and be able to receive the tremendous light that we're talking about. So he says, there was something in here that I didn't really know. And so let me find the place where I didn't understand it. let's try from Gam Behiyose Aponim Beponim. Now she's face to face. V'niknasim bo anai de'ima. That's the part right there. So I guess when she's ponim beponim, that the anai of ima goes into both of them. I don't really know, but this is when she's in the face to face. She has to take that light that's coming from the nai of ima around the front and be able to grow the entire side of their anpin to the kabel called osa hara gadoila, and then she'll be able to receive that tremendous light. Now, and through this way, but then the nai of ima leaves her, and then the nai of ima now comes into zer anpin, commotion ivar b'milas baruch atah Hashem mogen Avraham, which is what happens when you're there. Now I'm a little off sequence here, because my understanding of what she said is that after she comes around to the front, she's in the front, the nai of ima comes into her again and grows her all the way up. But then he says the ima, the yikonza b'zer anpin, and then it leaves her. It goes into zer anpin, where you're going to have a situation where zer anpin is going to have to be mashpia to her again. Commotion ivar b'milas baruch atah Hashem mogen Avraham. Now let me see. Melech Ozer Mashiach Mogain, he said, is where what's happening over there. So let me see if I got that right. I'm not sure. Okay, I'm going to read on because I'm just not sure of the sequencing at just my part. So Hatishar Acher Kach Gadlusa Minachaza Dezer Anpin of the Mata Bilvad Commotion Ivoirs. He says that after this plague takes place in Mogen Avraham, because I thought the Nira and the Sira took place after Mogen Avraham. With the word Ba'av, that's right after Mogen Avraham. Here he says, "Commotion Ivar b'milas Baruch Atah Hashem Mogen Avraham." Maybe it just means that was part of an explanation over there. I'm not sure. But at any rate, Tishar Acher Kach Gad Lusach B'Nachaza Dezer Anpin Lamata. So after all of this, and now the Nook is by herself again, and she's dependent on Zer Anpin because all the chef is going into him. The Mida Bavad commotion Shenivoyer, I'm going to explain that. And Bekoch Toikif Ha'ara, and it's from the power of the strength of this Ha'ara Hagadol, the Shekib Docha Bekiyosa Gavoha Kokol Shir Kumbasir Anpin, and because of the strength that she got. Now he's saying like this, Ima goes into her again when she's on the front, and she grows to the entire height of her Anpin. Then after that, this is what I'm hearing she's saying. He's saying after that, when the nai of Ima leaves her, goes back into Zer Anpin again, she shrinks back down to his chest. So he says, let me just read this again. And from the power, the strength of this really strong ha'ara, which grew her up to that side. So now it's going to be enough that she's going to be able to, she has all that strength within her that was built into her, even though that it leaves, the nozzle leaves, so to speak, but she's got a full tank. And the tank allows her to remain without the direct intervention of the Nai of Ima at the chazad is there, anpin in the front. So he says, Shiur minachazad the matach bilvad, achar shenistalku bebenu the Nai the Ima, Vahalavai Yaspik law, and he keeps saying this word Vahalavai. So let it be that that should be enough for her to be able to maintain herself at that time. Now we just have a very little bit of time. I don't know what I could do here. I want to get into the Kaf Gimel also, but that's for I guess another shiur. So what I could do right now is I could just read over to that because I know you're going to pull out in 2 minutes. So let's see what it says from the Kaf Bet. Kaf Bet says like this: Vayidei came. So we're trying to understand what happens. This darkness that we're talking about, that the Rashbi said, he's over al yidecha bekain is chashkas nukva dezer anpin amis ma'etis partsufa. So now she becomes darkened, and then her parts have become smaller. Ad retzono lachzor laach Kamo shekasu Rabbeinu Zal. So he said, because what happens? Now she wants to come back and go back to be around the back again, which is a defensive position because she's all alone. Bishar HaGuvanos, so we have that over Chisimba Bebircha B'Shonda the Rabbi you and Sham, and this also taking place. Well, that's the bracha called Magen Avraham. So he says, I'll just read it out again. We'll pick it up tomorrow. We have 1 minute. So V'is Nehiris Ima. So Ima at this point is going to be illuminated. This just brings to my mind a question about Purim, because Purim is the idea of Abba extending past Ima and going all the way through the Yesod of the Nukva. That's what my understanding, a simple understanding of Purim. But over here, you see that Abba's not coming into; he's remaining as a makif on the top of the head as Zeranpin, and only joins back into the Nukva. Joins back into Ima to be inside of Ima after Ima was by herself going into Malchus. Anyway, that's my question for then. We'll see what's going to be, and that's it for this time. We'll see you on the backside. Thank you. Kol Tov.